Okay. I just wanted to, again, go live in a couple of places here. Um, I am excited about this concept today. I know I say this with probably everything that I've talked about, but this information I really feel very strongly about, mainly because it's something that I have to circle back with every time. Not every time, but frequently my clients have to circle back on this, and it's something I have to work on, and pretty much everybody has to work on because of the world we live in. This is a hard place to live and not constantly check and wonder, does my body, am I respecting my body, or am I thinking negative thoughts about my body? So before I get started though, I want to reiterate what I've said in previous videos. If any of the information that I cover or have covered in the past or will cover in future lives, if it's something you feel like, I want to understand this better or dive deeper into it, don't hesitate to schedule a free mini session. I know that this is just a great way to see how coaching works and see how much it helps or can help you, and help you recognize your own power, the power that's in you. And that's what coaching is just helping you recognize what's inside of you and how to move forward with your goals for healing your relationship with your body and with food. So I'd also say, feel free to share this content. You and I all know someone, even if it's not yourself, that needs this in their life. So I challenge you to share this video today with someone that you think might benefit from it. So like I said, this principle is near and dear to my heart. So it's respect your body, principle 8 of intuitive eating. I will say that when the first time I heard this principle, I immediately went to just the trite phrase of, just love your body. And I recognize that that's very hard to do for most of us, especially when you have a history of being very super critical of your body, maybe disappointed in it because of health struggles throughout your life, or maybe you just plain hate it. You just hate your body. You don't like what you see, and you have a very distorted image of what your body is physically. So it is a very huge jump to go from the dissatisfaction of your body to, I love it. And that is why the creators of intuitive eating specifically chose the word respect instead of love. So when you don't feel love for your body, you can work towards respect. You can show up for your body because you respect that it deserves to be cared for. So when most of us think of body respect, our minds immediately go to your physical characteristics, how you look, your actual physical, reflection, which I think for a lot of women can really turn them off to this process of having body respect. If you've been hating your body or parts of it or its functions for many years, since you were 10 years old, perhaps, the thought of suddenly admiring it and respecting it, it can also feel magical. It doesn't have to be even loving it. It's just respecting it can feel like, wow, that's a big jump. It's a little bit overwhelming. So I want to break it down into steps that you can take today to move towards this. And I want you to recognize, as with any of these principles, this is a process. And perhaps this is one of the biggest ones that I have to revisit all the time. And so I notice how I think about my body directly reflects the actions that I want to take with it. So if I'm feeling like, I am a size different than I should be, or this should fit differently, or I should function differently, then I start to wonder, should I start to restrict? Should I start to choose something different about the way I eat? So I even find myself slipping to that. And then I catch myself going, no, I'm not treating myself in a respectful way. It's those thoughts. So the basis of this is the definition of respect. I want to just read this from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. So the verb to respect is to admire someone or something deeply as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievement. So if we add that definition in terms of our body respect, or respecting our body, focuses on more about what you or your body can do rather than what they look like. And there's a whole lot more to what I can do, what you can do, than my size or how I look or my reflection. And the same for you, isn't there? So to me, that seems a lot more doable, and I hope it seems doable for you. So for example, if I'm trying to think that, I can reflect on, hey, my body grew 4 humans, 2 at a time at one point with my twins. Or more simply, my body knows how to heal from injuries, from from difficulties. It knows how to tell me what I need when I listen to it. My body can give a hug. It can cry with a friend. It can talk or text someone who is far away. My body with my mind can learn new things and accomplish so much. Thoughts like this help me to realize my body is amazing, and so is yours, for your own unique set of reasons. And this ties very closely to my strong belief that we were created by a God who loves us and loves what our bodies can do. So respecting my body for me is as one of his creations. So respecting myself as one of his creation spurs me forward at times and helps me take a step outside of what diet culture wants me to think about my body and focus on, hey, I am a daughter of a God who loves me and created this amazing body. Let me think about that. I also love the message of Lindsay and Lexi Kite. I've talked about them before on previous lives. They're twin sisters that they have focused their PhD research on the concept of body image resilience. And their tagline for their work, which I love, is my body is an instrument, not an ornament. So let that sink in. My body is an instrument, not an ornament. Instrument versus ornament, doing, creating, achieving things versus just looking good. So that is my first takeaway, is respecting your body is about focusing on what your body can do rather than what it looks like. The next thing I want to talk about is the idea of accepting your genetic blueprint, recognizing that all bodies are good bodies. Just as a person has a shoe size of a 9 or 9.5, like I have, would not expect, I would not realistically expect to fit into a size 6. It'd be a completely futile process for me to even try. It would hurt. So I'm not going to do that. So I would never have the expectation that I could work really, really hard and become a size 6 in my shoe. So why do we try and do the same things with the rest of our bodies? We don't do it with our shoes, but we do it with the rest of our bodies. So respect your body, and you can feel better about who you are. It's hard to reject the diet mentality, which we talked about in earlier videos, if you are unrealistic or overly critical about your body shape, constantly trying to go against what you are genetically inclined to do. This also, you have to recognize, it goes back to the first takeaway of worthiness exists within you and within everybody else. And our bodies all deserve to be treated with dignity. And that looks like also learning to appreciate the diversity of the bodies around us, yourself included. So that takes time and an intention. And I think it's something that is gaining steam in different social media and media platforms. The idea that, hey, models in the stores don't all need to look the same. It is refreshing to go to Target or see billboards and realize that woman is not a stick figure. She has curves. She looks like a normal person. So I love seeing that. And I think it's also helpful to practice this with those around you. Help your kids recognize the diversity or the beauty and the diversity of their bodies. So your body is not meant to look different than it is. So a lot of times my daughter will be like, does this look okay? Or am I the size I should be? And usually what I respond is, yeah, you are the perfect size for you. Your body is perfect for you. And so that helps her recognize that it's not about comparison. It's about her tuning into, hey, this is my body. My body is the way it's supposed to be. We were not meant to look the same and be all the same size. That's not the way that we were created, and we shouldn't try and get back to that. So you don't have to, I will say though, you don't have to like every part of your body to respect it. Respecting your body means treating it with dignity and meeting its basic needs. So fueling it, giving it rest, moving it, and just respecting all of the different areas that your body needs attention, emotional needs, mental needs, understanding how your body's reacting to stress. All of those are forms of respecting your body, forms of self-care, to be honest. So this principle of respecting your genetic blueprint is just accepting this is how I was born instead of being angry about it. And accepting that we don't need to all conform to the same shapes and sizes. So I love that idea. It's one that honestly, it's new to me in the last couple of years of just embracing and loving and appreciating all of these different shapes and sizes of people. It is so, I love it. I love looking at everyone and seeing, hey, we are all amazing and beautiful people. And I love working with clients of all and helping them see that in themselves, because I've never had clients come to me in the exact same shape and size. And I love helping them accept and appreciate that their body is the size that it's supposed to be right now. So the next point I want to make is a common misconception, is that respecting your body and letting go of this never-ending quest to hit a goal weight is somehow giving up on yourself and giving up on your health. And that could not be farther from the truth. Body respect is really a form of self-compassion. There's a huge body of work of research that shows that self-compassion leads to better and healthier actions, more so than restricting and focusing on a diet and making your worth and your focus be all about what's the number on the scale, what's the size of my pants, the size of my shirt. So self-compassion is an acknowledgement that our here and now bodies are worthy of care and are just as amazing. And I also want to say that if you are learning about and practicing intuitive eating, working on body respect, it will have a ripple effect that will affect all of the principles that we've already talked about and the few that are still left to come. They all work together. And so as you respect your body, you're going to nourish it. You're going to respect its hunger and fullness cues. You're going to enjoy the food that you're eating. You're going to look for ways to treat it with more compassion and love. So I do want to reference some of those things that I talked about, some of the research that is out there that shows us that treating our bodies with respect actually helps our health, our overall well-being. So just some facts for those of you who are like, really? Should I really focus on respecting my body rather than trying to quote unquote make it healthier by super restrictive health choices? So research shows us that taking care of our bodies improves actual metrics of health, like our blood pressure, our lipid levels, regardless of our weight. So this is more commonly known as a health at every size. If you've heard of health at every size, or HAES, as it's sometimes called, it's the idea that a person can be healthy in lots of different sizes, and it's not one specific narrow BMI range or specific size. Research has also been able to show that respecting your body will improve happiness and satisfaction with life. Self-reported, obviously, because that's the only way to measure that. But it also has a reduced risk of eating disorders. So one thing that's very sobering is to realize that eating disorders have diagnoses. So actual diagnosed by a medical provider have doubled between 2000 and 2018. And eating disorders are considered the most deadly mental health condition of all. So with those doubling, we want to focus on what are ways that we can actually reduce the risk of an eating disorder. So someone who is looking at how amazing their body is, regardless of matching media or mainstream media, diet culture's description of a perfect size, they're not going to be in this never-ending cycle of comparison, a never-ending cycle of trying to be smaller, which can be incredibly dangerous as you go from disordered eating to a full-blown eating disorder. And the last thing is that, as I mentioned, there's a lot more faster progress towards intuitive eating. And this, studies have shown, will go and help you to reduce the body metrics, or the other biometrics measures of health, like blood pressure and your lipid levels. Again, regardless of your actual weight. So I just want to leave you with a few small steps that you can take today towards working towards this concept of body respect. And I want to emphasize, this is going to be, even from day to day, hour to hour, it might be on a continuum, especially if you're very new to the idea of respecting your here and now body. One thing I love is expressing gratitude daily for what your body does. This is something you can do mentally. Sometimes it's helpful to actually write it out, but focus on the actual physical functions that your body is, being an actual instrument rather than an ornament. So don't focus on how it looks, but focus on what your body can do. And again, if you're struggling with have actual health struggles that you're dealing with, that can be more challenging, but it's still as valuable to focus on, hey, my body is still able to do this in spite of the challenges that I'm dealing with my health. One other thing that I have done personally, I recommend to clients as well, is to get rid of clothes that don't fit anymore. This I've mentioned in a couple of other lives with previous principles, but having clothes that are comfortable and make you feel your best will allow you to be more aware of your body. If you're focusing on, this clothing doesn't fit right, or fits tight, or it's uncomfortable, that actually distorts how you're perceiving your body, and you cannot focus on the other cues that your body is giving you because you're just focusing on the outside. My body doesn't feel right in these clothing. So getting rid of clothes that don't fit anymore, or just if you're nervous about doing that, you can just put them in a bag and put them in a closet so you don't think about them. But you want to have clothes that are comfortable and make you feel your best. The other one I would recommend is to completely get rid of your scale. This can be a hard one, but when I finally turned the corner and did this myself, it's amazing to not worry about my weight and how it might fluctuate on a daily basis, depending on the exercise, the food, the sodium, water retention, anything. I don't worry about my weight right now. Basically, recognizing that your weight does not tell you anything consistent about your health is a huge aha for most of my clients. So what you want to do is start checking in with yourself more internally. And then another one is to quit the body check and comparison game. This one is hard, but it is so important. So again, body diversity is a beautiful thing. So recognizing that my body is going to be different than someone else's. I think I've said this before, but I'm the youngest of 5 girls, and none of us look the same. We are very diverse in our height, our sizes, our shapes, our hair color. I mean, there's just a lot of diversity between the 5 of us. We're definitely coming from different gene pools. We have different genetic blueprints. So it's beautiful for me to see, like, wow, we take from different genes, from different family members, and we're all amazing. And it's just an interesting, like, rainbow of bodies and the diversity of our bodies. And so there's no benefit to comparing yourself to someone else. There literally is no benefit to that. So one thing that I do to help me with that, which is another takeaway, is to curate your social media feed. I have had to do this a lot. I do it regularly, but especially when it comes to body diversity and respecting my body. I think I've mentioned in previous lives that I used to follow a lot of macro coaches or lifting coaches. I did a lot of before and afters. Focusing on, look, I've lost this weight, or here my clients have lost this weight. And I know now how damaging the concept of a before and after can be. You would be shocked to know how many people, when they're getting compliments on, oh, look how much weight you've lost, or look at this that you've done, that they might be in the throes of an eating disorder. So those kinds of comments that kind of focus on your outside appearance is never helpful. It is never part of respecting your body. So curate your social media feed so that you can spotlight seeing different types of bodies, and unfollow any accounts that make you feel uncomfortable or critical about your body. This requires a lot of awareness. If you notice after you've been on Instagram for a while, you're dissatisfied, you are looking for ways to change your body, dress differently, look differently, then you need to take a look at your social media feed and curate it and cut out some. You may, if you want to experiment even further, you can just mute some of those or hide some of those for a while and see, hey, actually I feel better. And it'll help you realize, hey, those accounts that I muted, I actually need to completely unfollow them so that those feelings don't come back. And then the other thing is just to reframe body bashing thoughts with thoughts that empower you. So focusing on, again, that idea of I am an instrument. My body is an instrument, not an ornament. I'm not here to just look pretty or look a certain way, but I am here to do something and create things, and just I am amazing, and my body is part of what makes me amazing. Now I say like I'm just talking to myself, but I hope you can reframe those to be a personal message to yourself. Again, this is something that is hard for all of us. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs with respecting your body, and each time you feel that lull, use it as a way to teach yourself. Teach yourself like, I was watching a lot of this type of show, or I had been focusing on these types of social media feed, or I noticed that these thoughts were coming in, and then I started to question my body and how it looks, and use that as a learning experience of what you can do in the future to focus more on concepts and ideas that respect your body. So I hope you found this valuable. Again, share it or sign up for a mini session if it's something that you personally want to delve more into. And we will meet back next week. Happy Halloween. And we'll move on to the next principle. Thanks.